Hey everyone, so today kind of going to be going over this prong collar. So for many of you that don't know what this is a type of tool, a training tool used for dogs. This has had obviously a lot of controversy behind it. A lot of times people call it a pinch collar, prong collar, whatever you want to call it. Just want to kind of give you guys an update on this and how it works out. So this specific brand, there's a lot of brands you can get. You can get your very basic Petco, PetSmart one. This actually is one of the higher end brands. This is made by a German maker called Herm Sprenger. There you go. So right here, you know that it's a real Herm Sprenger if it says Sprenger Inox on it. So this specific one is actually black. A lot of them are going to be silver. I chose to get a black one because my dog is black, and so I thought it kind of blends in a little nicer, so that way it blends in a little better, so it doesn't look as threatening as prong collars tend to be a lot of times. So prong collar, so what this does is actually when you do lock it in and you do pull on this, this actually applies pressure on the dog's neck, and that pressure is used as a correction for whatever action you want to correct. You want to be, obviously, before you start training with this, you want to be able to be trained in using this type of collar, because while these spikes are not spikes, but while these prongs are not necessarily sharp, it can injure a dog if you don't know how to do it. The nice thing about a prong collar, aside from the controversy, is that you don't have to, a lot of times, even if you just apply gentle pressure, this is already going to close in on the dog's neck, and the dog is going to respond to the respective corrective action. So that's always really nice. You don't have to pull hard on it. I know a lot of times people have just regular collars on their dogs, and when they pull on them, that actually puts a lot of stress on their neck. So this actually used properly will actually put less stress on the dog's neck, which is actually really nicely. So one thing you guys have to understand, that at least kind of right off the bat about a prong collar, is that think about a bed of nails. The reason why people can sit on a bed of nails is because the nails are distributed over the body, over this large surface area. So not one punctures the skin, right? So it's all up. So even if you want to put it, let's say, like up against your hand, they don't actually puncture because it's distributed by the surface area. So let me actually show you guys how this tightens up. So the idea to this, the trick to this, is that it actually tightens up this way right here. You can, if you want, take these little parts out. If you when you're taking it on and off the dog. I personally don't like that. I actually like this right here. So let's kind of show you guys how that works out. Okay, so once you put both of them in, you have to actually kind of squeeze this a little bit, so that way you can get the prongs through, and you bring it up, and then that's it. See? So this does not come off. Believe me, this is tried and true. This does not come off. It only comes off because, see, if you want to take it out, you actually have to push it together and then bring it out. That's one way to bring that part out. But this is basically what it ends up looking like on the dog's neck. What you can do is actually there's two ways of doing this. You can actually, when you put your leash on here, you can actually tighten it up with both of these rings, or just with this ring here. The difference between that is that when you tighten it with just this ring here, so when you attach this to your leash with this ring here, the pressure, the correction that you put on the dog when it is closed is going to be a lot more than if you're using both rings. So once again, you want to get specific training on that, but I purposely like this here at the top. So if you want to look at this closer a little bit here, this is actually really nice metal. This little part here that kind of just floats around is a very strong metal. I've used this for several years, haven't had any issues with them at all. Now the appropriate sizing on this is actually going to be depending on your dog and their neck. So this actually comes, I believe, in a small, medium, large, or an extra large. Those sizes kind of tell you how big the whole item, how large this is, right? Because it depends, certain dogs have thicker necks, and also the sizing on these prongs. The sizing on these prongs is going to be very important, because a lot of times you want to get smaller ones, as small as you can, because if they're too big, a lot of times they're going to be too bulky, and the dog is going to just pretty much be uncomfortable. So those are the sizing there. This specific one is a medium. So this fits, I have a Doberman pinscher. This fits a full-size Doberman pinscher without having any issues, and it's still small enough to kind of be discreet, so you can take them out in public and you're not going to get too many looks, aside from obviously the whole breeded dog. But these sizings here, I believe, are going to be 2.25 inches or millimeters. So what that means is it's not necessarily the length, it's actually how wide this is right here at the very top. So it's actually the best size that I found for my dog. So if pretty much you guys are serious about dog training, I would highly recommend this just definitely, this is the Herm Sprenger one. This comes in a black. You can also get a gray or just a silver, I guess. But this is definitely a good, nice product. Thank you.